Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. Well, during the Middle Ages in Europe, there arose three powerful military religious orders of knights, and we've covered the Knights Templar extensively in other moments in history, and we've also covered the famed Teutonic Knights of Northern Europe. Now, the third military order of the High Middle Ages was, like the Templars, founded in the wake of the Crusades in the Holy Land. But unlike the Templars and unlike the Teutons, this order was not merely a fighting force, it was also in charge of a network of medieval medical practices. This allowed it to survive the Christian loss in the Crusades and even operate to this very day. Let's explore one of the lesser-known orders of the Crusader era, the Knights Hospitaller. Now, before we get into their history, we need to examine the main difference between the Knights of the Hospital of St. John, that was their official title, and the Templars and Teutons. While the Hospitallers were a military order, meaning they did engage in military conflict with the Saracens, they were primarily the curators of medical care. They were famous in the Middle Ages and beyond for their vast network of hospitals, the first of which being the hospital of an early medieval Saint John of Jerusalem in the Holy City, which became to the Hospitallers essentially what the Temple of Solomon was to the Templars. Now, the Hospitallers specialized in providing medical care for Christian pilgrims, so their early network reached all the way to Rome, and with the Templars guarding the passageways for Christians from the west to the east, and the Hospitallers helping to heal their wounds, Christian pilgrims were freed to travel to the Holy Land and back in the 12th century with relative safety, until, of course, the Islamic recapture of Jerusalem in 1187 by Saladin. Now, for the next 100 years, the Hospitallers and the Templars tried in a futile attempt to reclaim Jerusalem, but were ultimately driven from the Holy Land in 1291. While the Templars met a devastating fall at the hands of King Philip of France 15 years later, the Hospitallers relocated to several different Mediterranean islands over the next few hundred years and survived. In fact, they even played a role in protecting the Christian West from the invading Ottoman Turks by helping to drive back the forces of Ottoman Emperor Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century in the Mediterranean world. The order changed names and variations throughout the centuries, but it lives on today as the modern Knights of Malta. And that's after the Hospitallers' 16th century home base, which was given to them by Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. Now, the order, while no longer fighting in religious wars with the Turks, still provides medical support as a Roman Catholic hospital network with locations throughout the world. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. And if you want us to cover one of your favorite moments in history, you can tell us in the comments. Now stay tuned for some new content.